I have come with a bleeding heart. Oh, I don't know, man. I needed to introduce myself. I'm so sorry, but it's a painful morning. Waking up to these stories of killings of people, killings of Nigerians. It is just so devastating. I think we can really say now that we don't have government, because if we do have a government, then something would have happened, and happened quickly too. Guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Charles, and I come with a bleeding heart for a number of persons who have been killed, whose life has been cut short because they live in Nigeria, because they live in Benue State, north central Nigeria. These particular killings have been going on for quite a while now, and it's almost immersive. The government have no, no, it almost seems as if the government has no answer to the cry of the people from Benue State. How long more would it take for a state of emergency to be announced in Benue State? How long more? It was quick, it was swift, it was fast for the government to take a decision on River State, where two persons were just, godfather and godson were just, showing muscle. It was easy to sit around the table and talk about how we would, ambush the Constitution to, declare a state of emergency in River State because it is a state of interest, a state that hasn't lost anyone due to insecurity. It was easy to sit around a table with a coffee and talk about how they would announce a state of emergency in River State that has no problem. It was easy to talk about how, a pipeline has been blown, and once the pipeline has been blown, they needed to declare a state of emergency in Rivers State. It was so easy. It was the easiest thing to do as a government of the country. I mean, I'm not sure that it took them 1 hour to come to a conclusion, to take a decision on River State. I doubt if it's up to 1 hour. I doubt it. Because it's a state of interest. Of course, 2027 beckons. But we have seen the horrendous killing on the scale of unimaginable proportion happening in Benue. God. And yet, this government hasn't sat around to declare a state of emergency in Benue. Can anybody tell me why? If you can, tell me why we shouldn't declare a state of emergency in Benue. Look, there's no sentiment to it. If you have a better argument, as to why a Benue State, as it's constituted today, is not declared a state of emergency, tell me why. Juxtapose your thinking to what happened in Rivers. Tell me why. I'm open to learning, frankly. I'm not the kind of guy who is so good with knowledge. I'm the know-all. I am also open to learning. We have 100 today, 200 tomorrow. In fact, as at this morning, different papers are reporting several numbers. Several numbers are being touted. So to tell you that whatever you are even seeing is a far cry from what the actual numbers are actually. If they tell you a 7, an 8, or a 9, just be rest assured it's double that. That's the country we live in. We're a country that don't want to be alarmists. We don't want to say the actual number, because if we do, it will almost seem as if we are demarketing Nigeria. That is that is the country we live in. We don't want to put out the numbers. We don't want to put out the figures. We are even a country that don't even know how many we are. When was the last time we had a census? When was it? Over 20 years ago. So we don't even have it. We don't even know how many we are. We depend on the international community, the World Bank, the IMF. Oh, you are 230 million today. Oh, you are 250 million tomorrow. Oh, you are 210 million tomorrow. Oh, just quotes, just quotes. We don't even have the numbers. So when something happens, we're not a country of numbers. We just put out the number and then everybody runs with it. I'm 100% sure that the government don't even know how many people live in that Benue community, the Guma community. I'm 100% sure they don't even know people who live there. This is mind blowing. This is debilitating. I am stunned to my bones that some things like this can happen in this country, and everybody is going about. They're going about their normal life. 100 persons killed. 100 persons killed, and it's not an international tragedy. The country, Nigeria, is not singing this. It's not an international tragedy. It is not something that is making news. Like it's normal. 7 killed, 10 killed, 100 killed, 200 killed. And nobody in government deems it fit to raise our flag at half-mast, to declare a state of emergency in Benue. Nobody is saying that. Nobody is doing that. What kind of country is this? Do you know what it means when 100 people in one fell swoop? That, do you know what that means? They will declare, if that happened in the United God, if that happened in the United States or anywhere in Europe, they will shut down the country. The country will be on a standstill. What are we doing? And, sometimes when I say these things and I put out these types of content, I tend to see people say, well, you cry more than the bereaved. Guy, look, let me tell you something. For those who are saying, it's far away, it's not in my locality. When it comes to your locality, I hope you will also find somebody who is also going to speak about these issues, because not many people are talking about this. Not many people. Governments, I mean, before noon, I'm sure they're going to release a statement. Oh, condolences. Heart goes out to people who have lost their lives, and life continues. See how bad this is. These people have been taken away from their original community where they lived. They took them out and dropped them somewhere that seemingly supposed to be safe for them. And while they are trying to catch up with their lives, because of course when you are displaced from your community, you are practically going to a new place. If you had a farmland, you abandon it. If you had if you had a house, you abandon it. If you had things, you have to abandon it because you need to be safe. You need to be okay. And then you are taken to another community where you have no bearing, no connection to. You are there trying to pick the pieces of your life. Maybe a small farm there, a small school there, a small learning environment there, and then these guys come to you to kill you, to destroy you. And the country you live in has not declared a state of emergency. Even if it is that local government, take troops there. You don't want to declare state of emergency in Benue State. Oh, they will say you are not democratic. What has happened in River State? What has happened in River State? Was it the killing of 2 people or 3 people? Just elites flexing their muscle. And then you declare the state of emergency, remove the sitting governor. Never happened in the history of this country. You just sat with 1 or 2 persons and pronounced a removal of a governor. You remove the sitting governor because, well, Rivers State is a swing state. It's an important state. And after all, it's a state that is of the opposition. If I don't do these things, I would not be able to gain power come 2027. But a Benue that has seen, if we are to calculate the amount of persons who have died in the last 2 months, just 2 months, it is running into the neighborhood of more than 1,000 people who have died, who have passed. And yet, we're still contemplating whether to declare a state of emergency. I am saying this, I don't know everything. Is there a way, if you have a way of telling, can you write and tell me, please, state of emergency is not possible in Benue State. Give me a reason why and tell me, I mean, I want a robust argument. Because these arguments I'm given are just out of sheer, respect for the life, because Benue is not far from anywhere. From Benue to Abuja is less than 2 hours. From Benue to Enugu is less than 3 hours. Benue is like the middle of this country. So anything that's happening in Benue can get to anywhere. The story, in fact, was that people like those terrorists, so-called, camped a day before. They camped in their community. They came a day before. And the community knew that there were new faces that had just arrived. They gave the information to security agencies, and still, it's reminiscent of what happened in Enugu in 2016. In fact, the community heads got information about the fact that people had come into the state a day earlier, and they are studying the place, and there were faces that they don't know. And the governor got that information that night and sent that information to the police. But yet that attack happened and over 40 persons were killed. That was in 2016. And up until this moment, almost 10 years, nobody has caught anybody. Nobody has apprehended anybody. Nobody has charged anybody to court or has been jailed or has been meant to pay heavily for their crime. I'll be in my farm. Somebody comes to attack me and will be telling me to get out. Will be chasing me out of my farm, a farm that I have invested my monies in, a farm that I have invested so much blood and sweat in. And all of a sudden, people come in, and the strangers come in and want to graze on it. Just want to freely graze on it and eat my crops, and eat my blood, and eat my sweat. Is that fair? Is that fair? And then you... And then you have a government who's been watching this happen, I see clergymen, conference of bishops. There should not be state of emergency in Benue State. There should not. They should not try it. There should not be state of emergency in Benue State. What is the alternative? The Benue State governor has even given up. He doesn't even know what to do. He doesn't even know what to do. Now, this is what I think is playing out in Benue State. It is either three things. It's ethnic cleansing, the people who are deliberate in cleaning certain ethnic group in a particular locality, or is land grabbing, or better still, there's a certain resource that Benue has, just like what we see in Borno. For those who don't know, Sambisa Forest has an unbelievable amount of mineral resource that is stunning. When I mean stunning, that thing is the most sought after mineral resource in the world. An ounce of it is in millions of dollars. So that is the reason why the fighting there will not stop. When they discovered gold in Zamfara, we know what happened. Lukarawa all of a sudden has emanated from Lukarawa's zone. Why? The resource. They come where that resource has been found. They displace the people there. They kill them if possible. They remove them if they cannot find their way. And then they land with their helicopter, mine these things, and then they fly out of the country. These are actually what is happening. In Borno, the same thing. They don't want anybody around that area. They just want to scare everybody. If there's a community there, remove the community there. Just sack the community, kill everybody if possible. That resource is important to them. And so the only way out is to, do the needful. If there's a need to even collaborate with one or two persons in government, because they cannot do it without some sort of collaboration, internal collaboration with the government. So one or two persons within the government would be aware of what's playing out and would turn a blind eye. Whatever, everything happened, they just push it aside. As long as at every mineral they mine, some part of it is given to them. That's exactly what's playing out. Just look at it. Anywhere you see this kind of mindless, unplanned, unchecked killings are largely because of mineral resource in that location. Very, very, it would take a government, whether local or state government, who is a sincere one, that is, if they are not being compromised, it would take a government, local or state government or federal government, it would take a sincere, all of them will not sabotage, because we've seen several people who will be in government and they will be sabotaging, the activities and actions of government that they serve. It would take a government that has integrity from the top to the bottom, that you don't have somebody who is compromising, to be able to wade off these people. Else, it's not going to go away. In fact, some of them in government are the ones even sponsoring these things because of money. They don't mind killing everybody as long as that resource comes to them. That's exactly what's playing out. So all these killings that you're seeing, killings in the north, I think there's now another one in Niger, Mahmuda, another one in Niger. I'm sure that's something that they must have discovered in Niger that they are now planning for, and don't totally remove your hands or your mind from international community who are sponsoring these things. It's possible, as long as they are able to, meet with the chief, local chiefs, give them something to turn away their eyes. If not, why are they not attacking the chiefs, the local chiefs in those areas? Because those local chiefs, have power in that community. So what they do is they come to the local chief, say, look, this is what I am thinking is happening, because I don't understand how an entire village will be sacked and everybody is feeling like nothing is going on, nothing is happening. I don't understand it. What kind of country is this? Because that is exactly what's going on. So they meet the local chief and say, look, oh, we want to acquire this place. This is this. They pay off the local chief. How many times have you ever seen a local chief chief of the area? Because every particular local government have their own local chiefs. None of them is saying anything. Those guys know what's going on in their locality. They do. Some of the news you are hearing, this news just broke last night. Something that happened Friday night into Saturday morning. It just broke. Do you know how many killings that must have been swept under the carpet in this country because they don't want to put it out? People are grabbing people's lands. They are protecting a certain location so that they can continuously mine these things. Sometimes these guys are not even, they are sponsored. I mean, do you know how much an AK-47 is? AK-47 is even too much. Do you know how much a pistol is? Is it someone who earns 200,000 naira or 300,000 naira that will go and buy pistol and enter bush? These guys come with sophisticated weapons of mass destruction. The other day they said that they are now using drones to spy on military in Maiduguri. That like terrorists in our country are using drones to spy. Oga, do you know how much a spy drone is? And you say it's ordinary, it's just insecurity, is West African insecurity, Libya, Sahel. Libya, Sahel. The Nigerian military, our troops go to other countries and defeat whatever they have, whoever they are, then in our own country. That we have all of the paraphernalia. They're telling me, Boko boys. That's a complete sabotage. Complete sabotage. People are giving them information about our military, where they are, at what point that they are leaving, where they are. If not, tell me why this thing has lingered. Why? It's terrible. I can't imagine it. Well, and we're living our lives. We just read it in the news. Oh, over 200 persons lose their lives. Security personnel, including internally displaced persons. Oh, it's news. It's news. Oh, yeah. And then the governor comes and gives speech. Oh, we're tired. These people are terrorists. They're not human beings. Is speaking English. Oga Aliyah, you are speaking English. Pastor Aliyah, you are speaking English. And your people are dying. Then they will come they will start singing this song. Oh yeah, let's do security police. Let's do what did they call that in again? State police. So do you think that state police would have helped this situation? These guys are hired. They come into a place and level the place with AK-47. What would state police have done? What do you think state police would have done differently? Let's even say the powers are with the state government. What would they have done differently? No. So the reason why so many governments from this 1999 all the way down, that have refused to accept state police as a way of solving some of these our local issues is because some of these things that are happening in our localities are sponsored by some of these persons in government. That is the reason why they will keep kicking against it. Do the maths. And I'll draw the line. So somebody discovers a certain mineral resource and say it's gold and knows about it, and then he tells a government official, the government officials knows about this deposit here. The government officials now, okay, says, this is a very good resource. Who do I reach out to help us get this thing out? The community already knows there's some certain resource here. And then the resource, the person now maybe contacts somebody abroad and says, there's this thing here. And then the person flies from either wherever they are, Europe, China, or America, and comes and checks it and sees that, this resource is mind-blowing and it's what we've been looking for. It's good for this. And then they start planning on how to harness it, either without the community's knowledge, or they think that this community may not, the presence of the community there would cause a lot of havoc. What they do next? Sometimes they go to the chief, speak to the chief about, we want to acquire this land for business purposes, we want to build farmlands, we want to do this, we want to do that. So the chief, okay, accepts, okay. And then some monies would exchange hands. And then the next thing, when these people come to the land, the community starts agitating. What are they doing? And then they hear that the place has been sold out to these people. And then the agitation continues. Whenever they want to come and do something, the community wants to agitate. But by this time, the chief keeps quiet. And then the next thing, you start seeing insecurity. You start seeing insecurity. You now start seeing killings of people in that community. If a state police exists, as it stands, the person who connected the person abroad, who is a government official most likely, gets caught out. This person also will be giving somebody else who is his senior in government some of the cut that he's getting. These are top guys, not be say people who are inside the inner caucus of the inner caucus. So they are quiet about it. When something like this happen, this is so bad, this is so barbaric, I know the person, I will chase them out. They just come to media to deceive everybody. But of course, it's not people like us who are critical thinkers. Because I cannot understand how somebody will live abroad. And most of them are white people who come there to mine our resources. Leave their own country. Come here, mine our thing. We'll be looking at them. Your state government, your local government, you're looking at them. Make it make sense. So this is how it works. So if there's a state police, the responsibility will now be on the state government and the state governor. So it will be now, okay, if it happens, the state government is the one that is involved, because like it or leave it. What Abacha said some time back, was it Abacha or IBB that said it? I said IBB. If insecurity lingers more than 24 hours, government is involved. And it's true. He's a military man. He knows. It's true. If insecurity anywhere lingers more than 24 hours, he didn't even say 24 hours. Government hands is in it. Sometimes, some of these things that happen, some of these killings that happen here and there, are government sponsored and government enabled. So if you do a state police, there'll be too much hierarchies to cover. So sometimes government just, okay, the only person they need to speak to in this case is IG. The governors cannot, there's a limit to what governors can tell the commissioners of police. There's certain instruction that governors will tell the commissioner of police. Commissioner of police will say, let me call IG first before I take this move. They are not in charge totally. So it pains me. Why? You might be saying, okay, state police might be the best. Yes, but again, if you do a state police, you have solved one layer of the problem. There are other layers of the problem. State police is very important. We should do it. It's something that we must do in order for us to go closer, at least closer to solving our insecurity problems. Because these people, sometimes, most of these killings are government enabled. I'm not sugarcoating it, I'm not sugar painting it. That is how I feel. It's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. You can have something totally different from it. If you think what I have said is balderdash, no problem. Accept, but put your own argument up. Write me on the comments. Let me know what your own thinking is. Because I can't understand it. Every day we wake up in the morning, 50 people dead. Tomorrow they wake up in the morning, 100 people dead. Next morning they wake up, 200 people dead. Like, are we human beings? Like, it's blood that is being spilled every day. And yet, we are going about our duty. Like, are we not seeing what's going on, guys? Are we not seeing what's going on? And we're okay. Life should go on. We just have to do something about this. We just have to. I was thinking that the treatment that Rivers State governor has, and because the way the president swiftly imposed state of emergency on Rivers State, the way the president did that state of emergency in Benue State, I mean in Rivers State, is almost as if the president has special beef. Like the governor had poked on the president for so long, and the president is angry with him. And in our own kuru eyes in this country, a sitting governor voted by his people, removed. When there's no war happening in River State, they bombed just one pipeline. You suspended a sitting governor. You told them to go. You know, when things like this happen, for it to even be like, okay, you want to be democratic, the governor can step aside, and then the deputy steps up for the meantime. Or maybe what better still, make them redundant. That is how it should be. What happened in River is what should be happening in Benue. But no, we're all about go and check out the headlines. 2027 forthcoming, 2027 governors exit, 2027 this one, 2027 that one. People are dying. Food in the market. You see why food now? You know, Benue is a food basket of the nation, and most of our food is actually comes from Benue State. And part of, you know, the food stuff that goes to Abuja, that goes to Niger, that goes up north, comes from Benue. Benue, arable land, fantastic place. But because of this headers thing, it becomes a problem. And then the part of the food that also comes to the east, and then parts of south, and then southwest, also comes from Benue. You know, and it is largely also a thing that you don't rule out international community. They know where our food is coming from. Benue, right? Okay, so if we scare these people out in Benue, stop them from farming, take over their farmland, food becomes expensive. And so what that means is that they would now start depending on imports. Is somebody thinking? Rice, foreign rice, local rice mostly. Of course, we have the Abakaliki rice, we have the Benue rice, we have Kano rice, I have Kaduna, we have rice everywhere. But most of our food crops, most of what we eat comes from Benue. So, and they know that, especially for rice, you'll be shocked at what I'm going to tell you. Rice on its own, there's a syndicate, there's a racketeering syndicate that is involved in rice. If you watch, import of foreign rice has drastically reduced, no doubt. I give it to them. But they are fighting the local farmers. So how you can succeed in getting people to buy rice, foreign rice, get back people to buy their foreign rice, is by attacking local farmers in Nigeria. Ask, I'm a journalist. I do this thing. I don't just talk because I want to talk. I do my research before I say anything. Ask any farmer anywhere in the country, what is your biggest challenge now? They tell you it's a fear that a header can attack them in the farm. And the worst part is latest Supreme Court judgment. I don't know if you have seen that judgment. I've forgotten the name. I think one certain Sunday was sentenced to death because he overpowered a header who attacked him in his farm. This is deliberate. It's a syndicate. So put fear in the heart of farmers. A huge fear in the heart of farmers. Let them not go to the farm anymore. There is no farmer, there's no large-scale farmer who sells yam, sells rice, sells sort of food crops that hasn't had an experience with headers. None. I say none. You know how farmers work? Certain times I will come to you as a farmer. If I'm in the field of farming, I would know 5, 6, 7 persons who are also in the field of farming. And so I am most likely going to ask you to help me get things done. All right? I'm most likely going to ask you to help me with maybe seedlings or stuff. You know how this thing goes. I'm at your beck and call, you at my beck and call. And so we do things together. And so how it goes is, if this person is affected, I am affected. Because if he refuses to go to the farm, it will affect me, because he is not going to farm because of fear of the experience he had in the farm. I engaged a farmer who produces rice in Enugu. And he told me, if not for the monies I've invested, I would have run away. I would never turn back in doing farming. He told me, Charles, look, there's a lot of monies in farming, but the problem we're facing is this header thing. Nobody wants to lose their life because they engage themselves in farming. This guy has a lot of rice farming. The one in Ezeago, the other one is in an Inori axis. And you see them, tell you chilling stories. It's a particular incident. He came on my radio show and told me, I almost broke down in tears. He had harvested the rice, kept it together in a heap. And then because it was dark, he couldn't do anything more. And he said, let him go and come back the following day. Brethren, brothers and sisters, lo and behold, he came back the following day. More than half of that rice was gone. More than half of that rice was gone. These farmers have a way of calculating ahead of time. They know, okay, this particular one, I should be able to get a certain amount. The man has already put a price to that particular heap of rice that he harvested. And then The cows came and ate his rice. And one of those days, he met the man, the cattle rearers, grazing on his farm. These chilling stories are not stories cooked. Are stories. I have invited people on my radio shows and even on my TV shows, and they have given account of what they're experiencing. So it's a deliberate attack on our farmers. So if you put the fear on the farmers, you've put the fear on the farmers, okay? If you put fear on the farmers, they withdraw, and then food becomes expensive, and then people import these food. You'll be shocked that very soon, you start seeing that we import gari. You will be shocked. Most of the gari, most of the rice, yeah, the drop, the fight is for rice. There has been drastic drop in foreign rice, import of foreign rice, because there are local manufacturing of rice. You ask yourself, why is local rice even more, is even competing much more expensive than the people who are importing rice are fighting the local farmers. They are putting that. I'm not ruling out, I'm just giving you scenarios. I'm giving you several scenarios. Government side, the local side, people who are even importing, so that their market will sell properly. If the local rice is doing well in the market, I wouldn't want to go and buy a foreign rice, right? So the guys who are doing foreign rice, who are importing foreign rice, will be out of business. So sponsor anybody anywhere who can chase the farmers out of the farms, make them get scared. I mean, there is nobody in this country, no farmer in this country who is not wary about attack on their farmland. There's no farmer, none. They're still scared. So most of them decide, you know what, I can't be in this space anymore. I'll just withdraw. So when they withdraw, people now start talking about their own crops, their own foreign goods. So there are different layers to this, and it will take a genuine government to solve it, to look at that issue in the face and do the needful. Dabish says, call a spade a spade. I think that's what you're trying to write, because I'm seeing spared. Call a spade, not bandits, but Fulani people. Don't be silly. I mean, there have been, maybe this is the first time you are even joining my live. There's a particular story on my platform. Fulani people, they were speaking Fufude. Fulani people kidnapped people and videoed it and posted on social media. I took that story, I think, 2-3 weeks ago. Check it out. Check it out on my platform. I'll probably just have to put it in the comment section after now. All right? We have been several attacks, okay, of that has been noted as Fulani headsmen. And sometimes it's not even Fulani headsmen, because the Fulani headsmen that we know are people who are largely harmless. They will have their sticks, and then they grew into carrying daggers, and then they grew into carrying guns, AK-47 guns, and to tell you that those guns are not guns that they bought with their money. Their masters gave them. Who are the masters? People in government, high-profile people. Who will a Fulani man go and buy an AK-47? There's a Fulani headsman, and there's a Fulani militia disguising as headsmen. There are two things. Fulani headsmen, on one hand, who are sometimes harmless, but the harmlessness does not come from you moving around with your cattle. You must have to stop that movement. If in fact, I think it's about time to even enact that law that stops them from moving from one place to another. Because it's this movement from one place to another that is causing this problem. Because if you don't move from one place to another, you won't discover people's farms and start eating them. Yes, there have been Fulani herdsmen who have who can overnight, because if you give a Fulani headman a gun, what is the difference between him and if by night if by day he is Fulani headsman, by night he will become a Fulani militia. I mean, what's the difference? Even our police, some of our policemen don't even have an AK-47. So if you give him a gun to arm himself to protect the so-called cattle, by night he will go and attack the community. So that's a grand plan. I'm not even. Does it look to you like I'm saying, did I use bandits and do? There are Fulani people who are everywhere who have been caught severally. The farmer that I told you about, he told me that they are all Fulani people. So I'm not hiding it. It's not. I'm not that kind of person. No, go look well. Oh, they are Fulani headsmen. Most of them. But sometimes these guys connive. Some of these kidnappings that are happening sometimes connive with locals of that community. Which Fulani headman go so know my community, so into my community that I will know where to go to, where to hide, that me that lives in that community does not know. Where? So beyond that, the kidnappings also an aspect is also sometimes done in connivance with locals who aid these people to attack people and then, share the spoils that comes with kidnappings. So let nobody in any way think that I'm trying to say whether it's Fulani or whether it's bandits. The thing was even elevated more under Buhari. I'm not the type that want to. If it is statistics, we can show him. Under Buhari's watch, the headsmen had so much energy, so much power, so much strength, to perpetuate the evil because they felt the person who is in power is their own. And when people shout and cry about how they have been devastated or how they have been sacked in their villages, the president turns to the other side. But when if it is a headman that was killed or that is arrested, they are quick to deploy army. Tell me how that makes sense. And there were reports, several reports, don't know how true that is, that they were arming these people. They were arming them. They were giving them arms everywhere just to go and do whatever they need to do. And when the president was asked about this headsman crisis in that interview, that day was the day I lost complete hope about solving this headsman thingy under Buhari. He says that there are grazing routes, that we should go back to the years of grazing routes that people have built on grazing routes, and we expect peace to reign. That's what the president is saying, that there will be no peace if communities don't restore grazing routes. My God. Communities communities that have been taken away by building of roads, building of houses, building of several things. You say you should go back and re-establish grazing routes for herdsmen. That's the only way peace can reign. Until he left. There was some quiet though when he left, but we don't know what's going on. And it's kind of curious. Why is it always before an election that now that we're now singing 1 year plus to an election, 1 year, 6, 7 months to the election 2027, why do we have heightened insecurity situation? If it's not somewhat political. Yes, somebody can decide to sponsor killings in a particular place. Under Autumn, it happened. Autumn of Benue State, last governor. Part of the reasons why he even lost his election was because he felt powerless. The same thing that is happening under Aliyah happened under him severally. At that point, it was an opposition state because Benue was PDP at the time. Presidency was APC. And so Alton was screaming and screaming at president. President at some point got tired and said, in fact, I'm not going to talk about this Benue thing again. He never said a word about what, but Benue bled continuously. The painful part is, you will never hear the community try to retaliate. Again, another issue that has been brewing is it possible that Nigerians can now start carrying arms? Maybe we should start carrying arms. People can be given arms to defend themselves. No, but it's true. When you know I have an arm, you will calm down. If you know I have an arm, you will calm down. If you want to attack me and you know that there's a vigilante group there that is also armed, that's as armed as you are, you'll be careful. You will not even bother because you will not just attack because these guys are also deadly, just as deadly as you are. Maybe we should start taking arms. Maybe we start carrying arms. If this security situation continues like this, we should start carrying arms. Yes. Or the people they said they want to do forest guard. They want to do forest. They want to create forest. They want to do forest guards. They want to create forest guards. That's what the president and people who are around him advised him to do. That creating forest guards would assist, would help. Now, they're thinking of doing, I think it says 300,000 forest guards. 300,000 forest guards. They don't want to call it state police. They don't want to put it under the state government or local government. No. It's going to be forest guards by the federal forest guards. What is the difference? The ones you have, the police you have, they haven't solved the problem. They are doing federal forest guard. They will just be in the forest, just holding forest. It's crazy. I'm telling you. About 200 persons, including 5 security personnel and internally displaced persons, IDPs, as well as children and women, have been reportedly killed in a bloody attack by suspected terrorist headsmen on Yelewata and Daudu communities in Guma local government area of Benue State. The attack, which came days after the people of the area alleged received information of the impending coordinated attacks by marauders, left many others with varying degrees of injuries. The invaders were said to have stormed the Yelewata in their numbers from 2 fronts, and after overpowering the youths and the police personnel who stood up against them, opened fire on defenseless IDPs who were taking refuge in markets, stores, and the community members. This is the part that is killing me. Somebody has left a place where they had been living. They brought them to another place to be safe. They brought them to one place and they are in the camp. These guys came and attacked and killed them. Like, I left my ancestral home for you. I left it, I ran away from you, but it wasn't enough. You followed me to where they kept me to be safe and killed. It was gathered that several families were killed and burnt in their houses and in the Yelewata market stall, with many of the victims being children and toddlers who were slaughtered like animals. While the attack on Yelewata was ongoing, another set of marauders, also in their number, besieged Daudu in the same Guma local government area, but they reportedly met a strong resistance by the youths and security personnel, leading to the unfortunate deaths of some of the security personnel. A community leader in Yelewata and former acting chairman of the Benue State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB, Mr. Matthew Menyan, who held back emotions as he spoke, said it was another dark day for the people of Yelewata, Daudu, Guma local government area, and the entire state. He said, quote, it started last night at about 11 p.m. This was like 11 p.m. of Friday night, when Fulani terrorists came from the western part of the Yellow Water and started shooting. So the police men and young people who were there tried to engage them. Suddenly, another group came from the eastern part of the community and they overran those trying to resist them. They killed our people, poured petrol on the stores in the market, and burnt them. In those stores, we had people who moved from places like Branch, Uday, and people displaced from nearby villages who slept in them because of the proximity of the police and soldiers there. And we learned no soldier came out to defend the people. How devastating. No soldier. As of now, from the names they are putting together and the number of families and people that were burnt and killed are running to over 200 now. They killed and burned people in the houses. They will pour petrol and burn the whole place where people were sleeping. We had a family of 15, some families of 12, men with their 2 wives, children, and every one of them burnt. It is a terrible sight. I've asked them to search for the families and put the names together because some have been burned to ashes. Those who were rushed to the hospital were up to 46. So far, I learned that about 20 have died and we are still putting the reports together. He lamented that it was a planned, unprovoked attack, adding that for over 1 week, we received reports from Nasarawa State that the terrorists planned to attack Yellowater, Ukoho, Otese, Yogbo, and Daudu. So they are moving to attack these places simultaneously. Mark the words, unprovoked. So why can't they arm these people? They have told you they are coming. Why can't the government, you know what, give them guns and let them protect themselves? After all, some persons, prominent persons have said it. T.Y. Danjuma, in his wisdom, says, give everybody, if you do not, government is not going to do anything. Give them guns. Let them protect themselves. If a cattle rearer carries AK-47 and moves with his cow, he sees a farmer with his own AK-47, everybody go calm down. Everybody go. If the cattle rearer grazes, sees the man with AK-47, he will not want to graze. Likewise, the farmer sees the header with AK-47, everybody go day one line. What do you carry, I carry. What do you hold, I hold. So if you do anyhow, you see anyhow. Yes. Arm them, let them protect themselves. After all, it's the Constitution. How can somebody attack where I feed from, where I eat from, and yet I should be quiet about it? Fortunately, that same day, the ones at Daudu were dislodged. And we learned 5 soldiers and police personnel were killed, sadly. From the information I received, I think one of them was of the rank of a captain. Can you imagine that? We learned more than 300 terrorists were camped close to Daudu. It is heartbreaking. Everybody is aware that the people want to take over Benue State. There are no 2 ways about it. They only want to grab the land. I didn't even read this itself. It's something I told you guys earlier. If you go to the east side of Yellowater, Fulanis have taken over the land and giving it to some of their people to be farming. Did you see what I am telling you? Take over the land, occupy it, and farm on it. Chase everybody away. And they do not want anybody to go there. So this is a planned issue that is being executed. It was a coordinated and well-organized attack, which is why some came from the eastern part and some from the western part to execute the attack to make sure they bring the place down. I cannot understand why innocent women, children, and toddlers were murdered in cold blood. Children had their necks slitted and were killed like animals. I cannot understand it. We had wanted to move all the corpses to the road, but I recall that there was a time we did that and 3 persons were killed by security personnel. Jesus. I hope I don't get traumatized, while doing this, because I don't know if you can put yourself, just put yourself in this scenario, just for 1 minute. 1 minute, put yourself in the situation these people are facing. Don't say they are far away, they're not going to come to where you are. Don't say that. This thing is happening within the territory of Nigeria that has a government. We had wanted to move all the corpses to the road, but I recall that there was a time we did and that 3 persons were killed by security personnel. Also, the president of the Association of United Farmers Benue Valley, AUFBV, Chief Dennis Bongbon, who also lamented the carnage, blamed it on those he called Lukarawa bandits. Lukarawa, that from northwest, is now in the north central. Bonbon said the association received the report of the very disturbing security threat to tea farmers in Yelewata community of Guma local government area, as suspected Lukarawa bandits and headers killed over 62 internally displaced persons, IDPs, and farmers and houses were burnt with families beyond imagination. The death toll shall rise as the search and rescue mission is on. Many were burned in stores. I am right there on the ground. 85% of the victims are IDPs who ran from Ansa, Duka, Kadarako, and Giza areas and took refuge in various stores in Yelewata Market. And among residents, many have been hospitalized. According to him, the IDPs in Yelewata are still farmers. They only ran to take refuge there. While it is important to separate them, it would help us understand the deteriorating situation farmers are confronted with. Even having run from sacked homes to IDP camps, terror still followed them unabated. This one is the one that is killing me. You sacked me from my community. I have left the community for you. I came to somewhere to pick the pieces of my life. You still followed me. Maybe I would need some water, really. I mean, Reacting, the special advisor to the Benue State Governor on Internal Security, Chief Joseph Har, who confirmed the development, said, look at what the special advisor to the governor on security said. I cannot give an exact account of it because I am not there physically. Your family is not there. How would you be able to give account? Your family member is not there now. You only give account if it is you. If it is you that the thing is affecting, or life you have catered to a point. If it is them that got affected, I'm sure you have all the information. You have what information. So nobody should blame you. You don't have it though. You don't have the information. After all, you're not a security agent. You're only an advisor. What is there? Don't mind them. I cannot give an exact account of it because I am not there physically. But I am aware that this ugly thing happened yesterday in Yellow Water and at the back of Daudu. There were two different attacks. I cannot give the exact numbers because I do not have the details. And it is the special advisor to the Benue State Governor on internal security. You are speaking to press. You don't have the details. You are aware. Doesn't this guy sound like he is complicit? I'm not holding brief for anybody, including the governor of that state. If he says he cannot do it anymore, he should resign, leave, let somebody else try. You say you cannot handle it anymore because you have come out to cry, you come out to shout, you come out to release statement, you come out to do things. That will not work. That nonsense talk will not work. Resign, get out. Somebody else should try. You cannot be there and be enjoying the paraphernalia of government, be feeding fat from government, from the resources of Benue State, and your people are dying under your nose. You are not able to do anything. You are not even forming a vigilante. You are not even saying, okay, all communities should raise a vigilante that they will fund. All the farmers now in Benue no longer go to the farms because of these headers. And yet we have a governor. Guys, man. The military personnel says that, we lost 2 military personnel in the attack, but I cannot tell you more than that. Reacting to Benue State Police Command in a statement by its public relations officer, Deputy Superintendent DSP Udeme Edets confirmed the development but failed to state the casualty figure. Part of the statement reads, according to our information, it happened in the early hours of Saturday, where suspected bandits invaded the Yawata town. The police and tactical teams posted to the town and reinforcements responded swiftly to the attack and engaged the attackers in a fierce exchange. And some of the attackers were killed in the process. That's the stories they tell people who want to, just to, they did, but they would never show you evidence. Somebody killed you. Why are you not showing us in this day and age of social media? You say you did. You see these stories. The police and tactical teams posted on to the town, responded swiftly to the attack and engaged in the attackers in a fierce exchange, and some of the attackers were killed in the process. But it is with great sadness that we report that some individuals lost their lives and others sustained injuries. The police, however, have not relented and are still in pursuit of the attackers and will continue to keep everyone safe. Guys, I don't know. This is terrible. Chinom So says it was Hausa people that gave them permission to penetrate their territory by hating Igbo and supporting them in political affairs. I mean, come on. I don't even understand that. Anyway, you are trying to politicize this thing now. I mean, we're talking about lives, my friend. I know there are issues. We have issues with ethnicity. We're mostly bigoted. Mostly bigoted. Yeah, you're looking at me. That's why is it I'm bigoted? Yeah, we're mostly bigoted. Take a look at the leaders that you have. Buhari came, and what did he do? Appointed most of his kinsmen in power. Employed most of Hausa people, most of Fulani people in positions they don't even merit. True or false? Then we have Tinubu doing exact same thing. In fact, even elevating it and even making it worse. Tomorrow you have another Hausa man or another Fulani man that you tell not to do the same thing that this guy is doing. We're bigoted people. We don't see through our noses. We don't see through. We don't see. We don't we don't think well until there's ethnicity inside. That's who we are. So let's be telling ourselves that until we are ready to think straight and think humanity before ethnicity. If you start thinking humanity before ethnicity, then things shall start getting better. Far better than what it is today. Esiama Oripikin says, defend yourself by all means. The police and the army will not. Jim says, come out of your trailer. Let's throw hands. I know be trailer hadi, not trailer hadi. I have to look at my environment, not trailer hadi. Anyways, really, guys, I just needed to pour this out of my heart about this development in Benue State. In your different platforms, do the same things. You know, call people and write about what's going on in Benue State. Let's put pressure on the government to do something quickly, please, because it is really sad what's going on. Don't say it's not gotten to me. I'm not going to speak on it. Please don't say that. Even if it is a WhatsApp message, you say you write. Even if it is pray for Benue or Benue bleeds or something, just write something on your WhatsApp status, on your Facebook page. Let's all speak in with one voice in order to actually put pressure on the government to do something and do something quickly. Please, I beg of you. I want to say thank you to every one of you who have participated. Emmanuel Onuzurike, thank you for your shout out. Dabish says, Dabish, many thanks also. Chinonzo, I appreciate your message. Cyprian Udo, I appreciate you too. Jim H, I appreciate Esiama, Warren Bikin, many thanks. Thank you guys. I'll see you on the next one. I hope the country gets better. I hope the security situation gets better than what it is already. My name is Charles. Thank you so much. Endeavor to subscribe just in case you haven't subscribed. I'll see you on the next one for another interesting topic. Thank you. God bless. I'll see you later.